take a look at this and let me know what you come up with, or let me know if you have questions, I suppose, as well.
Okay,
I'll
any
keep
method?
looking. Use any method you want. Remember, we're not solving, we're just factoring right now. We will get to solving.
Okay. Oh, so I'm doing, okay, so it's 90b squared minus 19b minus 9b minus 10b, so this, do square. And then minus 9b minus 10b, b squared. So that's b. That has to be b. If that's b, that has to be negative 10. That's negative 10. Then if that's b, that has to be negative 9. So and that's negative 10. So b minus 10, b minus 9. So I got b equals 10 and 9.
But
Or
we're not
Yep.
solving it. I didn't put it
b
equal to 0.
minus 10 times b minus 9.
Yeah, right. If I did set it equal to 0, you would for sure have something like that to do. So, okay. Here is a new problem for you to look at.
Okay.
Again, no solving, just factoring.
Okay, maybe 3. Do I have, can I leave the 6 in there? Or like
Always,
can I factor out 3?
yes, you should always factor a GCF if you can, because it reduces the complexity of the problem significantly by getting rid of something.
But like, can I have it be 3x squared minus 15x plus 7x plus 7?
Well, if you factor 3 out, it's 2x squared minus 15x plus 7. I heard a 3x squared, maybe you
Yeah.
misspoke, but
Yeah.
from
No.
here, you want to use any of the methods. We'll get to solving. I know, like, maybe you're desperate to complete the square, even though you shouldn't be. You should say, okay, I can do this another way.
It has to multiply to 14x at the negative 15. Negative 14, negative 1. Yeah.
This is that grouping. You have multiplied 2 and 7, which I think I heard that you're going to do
Yeah.
that. Do you need any help on this one?
No, not yet.
Okay. It does work out kind of nice. I mean, it's not the.
I got 2x plus 1, x minus 7.
Like this.
Yep.
Okay, when I check this, if I multiply the outer and the inner, I have to get back to minus 15x.
Oh, it has to be 2x plus 1, right?
Well, forget about that for a moment. It does need to come down, but what I'm talking about is the outer minus 14x and the inner 1x have to get you back to minus 15x. It does not.
Oh,
So it's just a sign error. You know, I'm not sure where that came from, but it's 2x squared minus 14x minus 1x plus 7. And then you factor a 2x out of that. So it's x minus 7, x minus 7 minus 1,
okay.
2x minus 1, x minus 7, bring the 3 down.
All right.
All right, let's have you try another one like that, since that didn't go as well as it could have. And we're not solving it, you're just factoring,
Yep.
which I know it's hard. It's like, I want to set them equal to 0. Yeah, you can do that, but not on this. Let's go 9. Let's go negative 9 x squared minus 3x plus 12.
Okay. I'm just factoring.
Just factoring.
Well, but add to 1. 4 and 3, so negative 3 and 4. So that's squared minus 3 minus 4 plus 3x, and you get x minus 1, x minus 1. 3x plus 4, x minus 1.
Anything else?
Oh, 3 or negative 3. Negative 3, 3x plus 4, x minus 1.
Yes, very good. Okay. All right. So you're doing real great. You're doing real well on these. I mean, they are intentionally difficult. You know, they're not supposed to be easy. Maybe even stuff you haven't even seen in a while here. Let's start solving. The only thing that solving does is it requires you to now set them equal to 0 at the end. Okay, so it would say solve, you know, by any method or factoring. Here's a problem for you to look at. So we'll set that equal to 0.
Okay.
So
And then
this
just
is,
solve that.
yeah, so this is kind of like the last couple that you've been doing. It's a grouping problem. It's kind of your hint.
All right. A lot of steps in this one.
There's a fair amount. Did you factor out a 5p squared in for two?
No, I added 5p and 10p squared.
You can't add them together because they're not like terms. P
Oh,
cubed,
that's a
p squared.
cubed. That's a cube. That's a cube.
Yes, yes. And this is just, I don't know if you've seen this. This is just new, just trying to vary it.
Yeah. Okay. So then p plus um p plus 2 minus 7p. Actually, then I can probably, yeah. Wait, is that it?
Keep, keep going. You got to solve now. You got to actually set it equal to 0.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this was, so isn't it 5p squared minus 7 and then
Okay.
p plus 2?
Okay. Yet you're solving. So your final answers should be
It won't be
like
a nice
like
number.
like p equals. Now I'm willing to accept decimals rounded to 2 decimal places.
Okay. P equals set square root of 7/5 and -2. I don't know what the square root of 7/5 is. Let me get my calculator. Square root of 7 divided by 5. 1.18. So P equals 1.18.
Any other answers?
-2.
Okay. So if this problem were out of 3 points, I'd give you 2 out of 3.
Oh, plus minus 1.8.
Yes. So you got to either write that or remember to do that. Good. Good. So you're just a little bit more difficult, right?
Yeah.
So let's try something that's kind of back up a little bit. How about to solve the following? X cubed plus x squared equals 0.
Okay. Um, um, Factor on x squared, and then you get x. So then x equals 0 and x equals 0 would be the only two answers you can get.
There is one more answer. There has to be 3. The degree of the polynomial 3
Oh,
here
so it'd
tells you
be
there's
0, so it'd be 0, 0, 0.
okay. So what is the GCF here?
X squared.
Okay, so that becomes x plus 1. My guess is you wrote something besides the plus 1, maybe nothing.
Yeah, I did not write plus 1.
Okay, so
Oh, because okay. No, yeah, it's just a stupid mistake.
so go ahead and give me your final answers, answers, whatever you've got.
Okay. So then x minus 1, x equals 0, and then x equals, wait. X minus 1, x equals 0.
You're setting
Okay.
both of these equal to 0, x plus 1 equal to 0, and x squared equal to 0. What are the two
Yeah,
solutions?
but I thought there had to be 3 solutions.
There are 0, 2 is repeat, or on the one
Oh,
on the
one of
left here,
them's
it's
repeated.
repeated.
0 is repeated. Okay, so 0, 0, and -1.
Yes. You may want to ask your instructor, say, hey, should I write the repeated solutions? Because you don't know what they want in terms of their format. You want it to be what they want
Okay.
ultimately.
All right.
Okay. You doing okay? It's a kind of a hefty thing to ask you to keep solving all these quadratics.
I'm doing all right.
All right, so let's do another one here. Let's say I ask you to solve 36 x squared minus 81 equals 0.
So that would be, these are square roots. It'd be
Yes.
6x squared. Or it'd be 6x plus 9, 6x minus 9, right?
So keep going. Yep.
Yeah, okay, so then negative 3/2 and positive 3/2. Yep, plus minus 3/2. That's what I got.
Very good. They're kind of in the same space now, just getting a little bit more difficult. 4x to the 4th minus 25 x squared equals 0.
Okay, so then that's another like square root thing. So then 2, or it'd be 4x squared. Would it? This one's a little complicated. I'm like trying to work it out, but
I
I'm like
always
still
recommend doing a GCF first.
do
Is there a
GCF
GCF?
first.
Is there a GCF here?
Yes, x squared.
Okay, so factor that out from both.
So then you get 4x squared minus 25.
Okay. So inside is difference in squares.
Yep.
Okay, so give that a try. Figure out what's squared, just like you did in the previous problem. Yeah, it's exactly almost like that now.
Okay, so it'll have 4 solutions, and one of them will be both. So there's 2 double roots, right?
Only one
25
double
divided
root.
by 4.
Only one double root. The other one is a plus minus case.
Oh, yeah. So plus minus 2.5, and then 0, and then 0.
You got it.
Oh.
Okay, that's really good. The only type we're kind of missing, it's like this is where you almost have to get into the instructor's head here. Do you know if you guys have done sum and difference of cubes? Something like x cubed minus 1 equals 0.
X cubed equals 1.
Well, if you haven't done this, I'd rather hear that because I don't want to, have you do a bunch of weird ones that we don't need. So maybe another thing to ask your teacher if you're gonna have to do sum and difference of cubes. All right, so let's move past that. How about this one? How about solve 4x squared plus 12x equals 40? Again, you can solve by any method you want. I would recommend seeing if you can factor before you move on to other stuff.
Could you make 4x squared become 16x? Or is that not how it works?
I would, yeah, I would. Your general strategy, move everything to one side, and then you start by looking for a GCF. Then you look for the other types of factoring, and if those fail, then you move to quadratic formula and completing the square. You know, if it's
Okay.
not a difference of squares, if it's not a perfect square trinomial, it's not an a equals 1, if it's not a not equal to 1 grouping, then you maybe do something else.
Okay. Yeah. X plus 3/2 squared equals 9 plus or equals 10 plus 9 have 9/4.
I'm hearing some, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm hearing exactly. You do want to move that 40 over,
Yeah, I did.
and then is there a GCF? Is there a number or variable that
Yeah.
goes in all of them? Okay,
4.
4. So x squared plus 3x minus 10. I heard something different.
I moved the 10 back over and then I got so I did
Okay,
completing the square.
but this does factor, and like you really want those to be your last resort. You don't want to, like if it factors, you should do that. That's the easiest path. So two numbers that multiply to -10 but add to +3.
Alright. Uh, you sure that's factorable? Oh, 5
Yes.
and 2.
Yes. I'm waiting till the midway point to build in quadratic formula and
And
completing the square
x
problems.
would be x minus 2x plus 5.
Okay, but we're solving. So while this is great, if we're factoring,
-5 and 2.
good.
Do we do anything with the 4?
No, there's no x to go along with it.
Okay.
All right, so here's kind of your last one of these types, and then we'll move to something else. Let's go -6x cubed plus 14x squared minus 4x equals 0.
And factor out like -2, so you get um
More than that, don't they all have an x in it?
yeah. Well, not all of them.
Well, they all have an x though. They all have like at least an x to the power of 1.
Yeah. Oh, so then it'd be -2x.
Yes, that's your GCF.
And that's 3x squared plus minus 7x plus 2.
Okay, keep going.
Um, so that is factorable, right? Yeah. Wait.
Maybe you gotta keep going.
Yeah, no, no. So it'd be 3x minus 6, 3x squared minus 6x,
Okay, keep going.
2 minus x. And then you factor out 3x, and then you'd get x minus 2, x minus 2. So 3x plus 1, x minus 2, x equals 2, and -1/3.
Okay, you said you got three solutions, 0, 1/3, and +2? Or is there, do you have a
Yes,
sign
and then
error?
my negative
Yeah,
2.
this is a small thing, but it's a big deal. Okay, so we're gonna transition here to including problems where you should either complete the square or use the quadratic formula, or some that are factoring. I'll sprinkle those in. Okay, so here's an example problem. X squared minus 5x plus 2 equals 0. So go ahead and solve that, either completing the square quadratic formula or factoring if it's possible.
I don't think factoring is possible there.
It does not appear so. That's good that you can see that.
And then I wonder if completing a square would be better.
So completing the square introduces a fraction.
Yeah, I'll do quadratic formula. So that's 5 plus minus the square root of 25 minus 8 over 2. 5 plus minus square root of 17 over 2. So that's 5 halves plus minus square root of 17 over 2. That's the exact answer.
Go ahead and give me the full answer one more time. Didn't know when you were ready for it.
5 plus or minus the square root of 17 over 2.
You like that? Okay. And let me just check here. That looks correct. Now, is your teacher okay if you write it this way, or do they want you to separate it out? 5 halves plus.
I wrote it both ways, but she doesn't care.
Okay. All right, good. Okay, so here's another one for you to think about solving. Solve. Let's go 5x squared minus 70x plus 5 equals 0.
And then x squared minus 75. I feel like no, it's 14 minus 14x plus 1. I don't feel like that's factorable either.
It is not factorable. You're going to have to use either quadratic formula or completing the square.
Do both of those make fractions?
The fact that it is 14x is good. That's a good thing. Because that divides by 2.
Okay.
So I would recommend completing the square here, but
Yeah, x minus 7 squared. So that equals 50 or no, 48. So then x minus 7 equals the square root of 48. And x equals 7 plus minus 2. You can factor out 8, which is 2 4. Wait, right? 8 is 2 4s.
yes.
It'd be 4 times square root of 6.
So what's under the square root? Or what was it starting there?
Oh, so I got x equals 7 plus or minus 4 times the square root of 6.
Like this?
Yeah,
Over.
I didn't get anything over.
Okay, so you just got that for your final answer. Okay,
Yeah,
let's take a look here now. I've shown you this a few different ways. I think the thing I would do here is move the 5 over. You can still factor out the 5. So it becomes x squared minus 14x. But we've got a gap there. And then it becomes x minus 7 squared. So that becomes plus 49. But then you have to multiply the 5 by the 49 to get 245 plus 245.
Right.
So this equals 240, 5 here, but you can divide both sides by the 5. So that's x minus 7 squared equals 48. Okay, and I'm guessing that's where you started to
That's what
get
I
this,
got, yeah.
but when you take the square root, got to be careful here about this because you start with 2 and 24, 2 and 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3. So it is a 4, but it's square root of 3 on the inside.
Okay,
And then you add the
7.
7, yeah.
Okay,
So it becomes 7, x is 7 plus minus 4 square root of 3.
okay. Okay,
Okay, you want to do another one like that, or do you feel like we should do another one, I guess. I take that back. We'll do another one like that. All right, I've got one here. Minus 4x squared plus 32x minus 12 equals 0. So I'm sort of hinting this is just like the last one, but
factor
yeah,
out
you just
maybe 4.
be a little cleaner with your work there. Get it all the way through.
Okay.
Yes, you can factor out -4.
Minus 8x plus 3 equals 0. That doesn't factor. X minus 4 squared equals 13. X minus 4 equals square root of 13. X equals 4 plus minus square root. We got x equals 4 plus minus square root of 13.
Say that one more time.
What?
I didn't catch that.
X equals 4 plus or minus square root of 13.
Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Minus 4x squared minus 8x equals 12. Move that over. And then you have x minus 4 squared. So that's where that comes from. Plus 16. But then it's minus 64 over here.
Okay.
And that appears to be a problem, but we're going to divide by negative, so it's not so bad. But sometimes you pause and say, well, I wonder if that's going to work. And you have done this correctly, because it does end up being 4 plus or minus the square root of 13. Very good. Okay. We've not done many quadratic formulas, so I'm going to specify that you will use the quadratic formula for this one. Minus 6x squared minus 2x minus 1 equals 0.
Okay. That's 2 plus minus square root of 4 minus 20 minus 24. It's no solution.
This one, let me check here.
Because -4 times -6 is
Yeah,
24
you're right.
times -1.
Why didn't this work out? Okay, let me modify here.
Okay.
I'm just going out to the internet and finding problems, but there's
Yeah.
no way for me to know until I do them. Although some of them have the appearance of working out. Okay, let me change this up. Good catch on that. And it is possible that you might have no solution. We'll talk about
Alright.
those at some point. But here you go. Here's your change up to that. And this time I actually want you to round your answers. So
Okay.
go and do the full quadratic formula, round your answers to 2 decimal places.
Times 5. So it's 24 times 24 times 5. 120. Over -12. And then it's 2 plus minus square root of 124 over -12. Can I do? No, I can't. So then, is there a square root of 124? Oh, wait, no, you wanted the rounded answer, right?
Yeah, so once you get to a point where you feel like you can put it in the calculator, please do that.
Yeah, so I got -1/6 plus minus 11.14 over -12. So I got -1/6 plus or minus 11.14 over 12.
Okay. So again, if you could go to your calculator there and give me the rounded answers. I've got those up whenever you got them.
-1/6 is plus 11. 11.14 divided by 12, -1.095, and -0. So I got -1.095 and
Okay.
-0.717.
Second one is 0.761. Maybe check that one more time. The first one is correct.
-1 divided by 6 is. Oh, yeah, I didn't add. It's weird. I got the same answer.
Well, that's okay. Let's move on here. I found something I think is a good kind of a compromise because at some point I'm sure you get exhausted doing this.
Oh, never mind. I
What
got your answer.
Yeah. All right. These are multiple choice problems. I know you're not usually doing multiple choice, but just for the last part of this lesson, I think it's good for us to just take a step back and say, okay, let's just look at some problems and kind of, the heavy lifting is done here. This one is completing the square. What is the intermediate step in the
It should
problem?
be x
It's
minus
basically which,
4.
right?
It should be
Basically, which
x
one of these is
minus 4
correct?
something. So that rules out 3 and 4.
Okay.
And then 4 squared is 16. 16 plus 7 is 23. So that's be number 2.
Good. All right, let's look at another one here.
would be x minus 3, so -3, the third one.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. Okay. So let's look at a new problem here. So you can do this by cleaning the square, quadratic formula, your choice.
It should be x minus 4 times x plus 4.
Be careful there if you're completing the square.
No,
you're
I'm not
divi-
completing a square, but like
Okay.
wouldn't the solutions be x minus 4, x plus 4?
They would if your bottom, remember it's over 2a. So it's
No, it's because I'm like doing a square, perfect square trinomial.
this is not a perfect square trinomial because the middle term, well, there's two problems. One is it's a plus minus. There's no plus minus perfect square trinomials. There's only minus and then plus
Oh,
or plus plus. But the other issue is the square root of 16 is 4. You have to double it to get this one here.
oh.
I
So if that was
appreciate
plus 8x, it would
the
work?
effort. Yeah. So if it was well, the issue is it can't be plus minus. It has to be. So here's a perfect square trinomial. These are the only two possibilities with 16 on the right here.
Okay. Okay, so then. And it'd be x minus 2 equal to 20. X minus 2 squared is equal to 20. Or x plus 2 squared is equal to 20. And it's x equals -2 plus minus square root of 20. So then it'd be x equals -2 plus minus 2 square root of 5. -2 plus minus. It'd be the second one.
All right, very good. I think I just grabbed another one here. Nope, I did not. Okay. The next one here is kind of tough. I think I'm going to take away the multiple choice for this one because it.
Are you okay? You have to double it to get. Would it be 1/16?
Okay, so if it's 1/16. Okay, if it's
Doubling,
1/16,
no, it'd be, no,
you,
it's doubling 1/16.
yeah, you
It
have to take
couldn't
the
be
square
1/8
root.
either.
You have to take the square root of this number, then double it. So this does not work. Try again.
Take the square root of it and then double it. Square root of something and then double it. Couldn't I just square and double 1/4?
You could divide it by 2
Yeah,
and then square it.
And then you'd get -1/8 and then double it.
Square it.
Oh yeah.
You-
Oh, so it'd be 1/64.
okay, good. Now I want you to solve this.
So then x squared minus 1/4 x plus 1/64 equals 0. And then it'd be x. And it would be x minus, I know it'd be x plus 1/8 squared.
It's got to be minus because that middle term.
Oh, okay. So x minus 1/8 squared equals 0.
So what is your final answer?
And then x equals plus or minus 1/8.
The
Or would
You
it
just
just be
set the
1/8
just 1/8 twice, or
or double root? Okay.
yeah, yeah. Good. All right, so let's say I gave you something like this: x squared minus 10x plus 25
Here, yeah.
equals
Oh, wait.
64, and I
You
asked
have
you
to
to
move
solve this.
64 over before you can do anything.
Normally you would think that, but what is this thing on the left?
Oh, wait, no. So it'd be x plus or x minus 5 squared equals 64.
Yes.
And then you'd get x minus 5 equals plus or minus 8.
Okay, keep going.
So then x equals 13 and x equals 3.
Yes.
Yes.
So kind of related to that, you don't have to solve this, but let's say I gave you something like this: x squared minus 12x plus well, I don't want to do this. Never mind. We don't have enough time for that. So let me just remind you that you always start with GCF if you can.
Yep.
Then you hope for difference of squares. Then perfect square trinomial, a equals 1, a not equal 1, or grouping. And only then do you go to quadratic formula or completing the square, if none of those have helped you.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. It's not always go to your hammer, go, try the ones. And if they don't work, then do this.
Yep. Okay.
All right. We're going to go ahead and stop there for this evening. Good job.